Who are we?
Nobodies!
Speak for yourself.
Okay. We're Canadian filmmakers, with the dream of surviving financially on the backs of our films.
Welcome to our show where we bring people along on our film journey.
Maybe we can learn a thing or two.
Maybe we can teach people a thing or two while drinking beers.
I mean, if you can't drink beers while filmmaking, what's the point?
We are Fable Forest Films, failing our way to success.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. I mean, our show. First frames first. And go. Hello and welcome. I'm just kidding. You can go ahead now.
Yeah,
I'll start.
Okay, no,
I will actually.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
No, but your friend's here.
No, it's okay. You go ahead.
Can I do it?
You go ahead.
Yeah, fuck yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
What
sure.
if I say hello?
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah.
Hey everybody, how's it going? We are here in 80's basement where there's bloodstains on the carpet and two guys dragged me down here and shoved a mic on my lapel.
Lapel mic.
Lapel mic, thank you. And we are gonna chat to you for the next chat to each other, I suppose, for the next 40 minutes.
Yeah. So welcome to First Frames First. This is episode
37
of First Frames First. Can you believe it? We're like old men in the podcasting game. I mean, honestly.
Wow.
Like we have 6 fans and we've been doing this for like decades. That's what it feels like. So welcome. And we have a guest. This is Mr. Chris Watson, who is a good friend who's been involved from a very far distance for a very long time. Assisted us in very strange ways. Did the Korean subtitles for I Was a Greenhouse.
Oh yes.
Oh my
which
god.
were then rejected by iTunes. So we were like, thanks for all the work, Chris, but just forget it.
I was never asked again, so now I know why.
We've never done.
No, I'm kidding.
We've never done it again, and I believe that your subtitles were probably correct.
Okay.
It was probably more on my inserting the subtitles and then not being able to see. You know what I mean? How good they were then.
Okay.
Anyway,
But it's been very passive, but a lot of support from England, and so now I'm here in the flesh. So
Okay, listen, I just want to throw out there, and I haven't known you for long, but when you're speaking into a mic, don't cover your hair. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Gotta
Okay.
and come on, so unprofessional.
why don't you just come on the show and answer your messages here? We'll just sit here.
Sorry guys, I'm just gonna
We'll
take
talk,
this.
talk around you. So Jason has this propensity to enjoy talking a lot. So we walked him around the block a couple of times, tried to tucker him out so he wouldn't take over the convo. We'll see if that works.
It's not gonna work.
It's not going to work.
I am really tired though.
It wasn't jaw exercises.
No.
We should have given him jaw exercises before the show.
I will say, we're gonna do a quick shout out. No, I'm not gonna mention his name, but last
Ramirez.
week. No. But last week it was pretty cool. We spent some time with some of our investors from Shifted, which was really cool. So we for all of the people that invested in the movie and some of the people that some of the cast and crew that deferred some of their payment.
Yeah.
We actually created like little certificates and just little mementos, sort of pictures and things like that. But we actually went to the homes of a couple of the investors, and it was pretty fun because some of them had listened to the show before, and so it was a lot of fun to sit around on couches and chairs and chit chat with them, and they got a real sense of, this isn't just the way we are when we're on the show. We like to chit chat about everything. And I thought it was a lot of fun to
it was very
to
cool.
meet the investors in person and just have a conversation for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was awesome.
I don't know if they're like, we made a big mistake.
Yeah, that was an error. They invited us.
I thought those
into their
idiots.
home.
I thought that was an act.
Yeah. Gave us a beer. We sat and chatted for a little while, and hopefully the impression was good and not like severely negative.
We are friendly humans. I think that is the.
So what do they ask? Do they say what's the game plan? How do you guys work together?
No,
and which was
actually they did not say that at all.
I think honestly it was a lot of like, how are you? Tell us a couple stories from the making of. We tried, And they just wanted to, I think, get a sense of who we were and kind of how things are going.
Because at this stage, you see, so Chris has a background in finance, and so whenever people are investing with regards to finance, the question is always like, what's my return? When am I getting my, you know what I mean? Those kinds of questions.
What's the process? Yeah.
At this level of indie sort of filmmaking that we're doing right now, it's more about
support.
Yeah,
Like
they understand where their money went, right? Their money is going to go straight into the hands of a makeup artist who is going to try and make the monster, and so they understand that we're moving, like we don't have the ones and zeros in place. Like
there is the hope to have return on investment.
Yes.
However, I think that going into it, they felt more like patrons of the arts than really like,
I better get this
I know
money
I'm
back.
going to be
Yeah, no, this is not sticking into a mutual fund thinking it's going to grow at 10% a year.
There's always a hope though, and that's
Sure.
when you meet the people and you see the, one set of investors that we talked to had known one of our actors for a really long time. The other was more of a new meetup, but what they really saw was the passion from the actor, the passion from us, and the love of the story and the love of filmmaking, and they're very excited about movies and filmmaking as well. So
did you guys get a feeling like you meet these people, you think now we're gonna even try harder, or now we're gonna do you know what I mean? Now we're gonna now we know the faces of their house, we know these people.
Okay. No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't want to try harder because I already want to try hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I did feel like I got out of those meetings. There's a couple times when you feel like, when I felt like a filmmaker. Right. Because I don't, even though we've been doing it for a while, we've been making movies, we've been working on documentaries, short films, things like that. We've been having a lot of these kind of micro moments.
Oh yeah.
You don't necessarily say, oh, I'm a filmmaker, but there's a couple times, when you sit at the back of the movie theater and there's a crowd of people and they're laughing at the thing that you made, you feel amazing, right? When you're sitting one-on-one in a basement, of one of the people that have invested in you and believe in you, and you're just talking about things, it feels amazing.
It is a big deal for someone to believe in you enough to reach into their wallet and help you out.
That's it,
Even though it's not a huge amount of money, it's not, but it matters. It matters to us because of the scale of the movie that we're making. It is a percentage. It's not an unseen percentage, right?
Yeah.
So,
for me, although I'm so thankful, but to me it's the weight of all the people on our shoulders, right? It's the cast and the crew and even ourselves wanting to keep going further and further, making the next movie that keeps driving me to work as hard as we're doing. But anyways,
sure. Well,
it was amazing.
Yeah, you guys are.
But I wanted to mention it. I know we want to spend the majority of the time, but I wanted to because it just happened. I wanted to mention it, and because people are watching. I know Adrian joked about having six fans, but people do watch the show, so it's neat to hear when somebody actually has been like, oh, I've watched a couple of your shows.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You're like, which ones? Hopefully we weren't terrible. We're kind of the same in all of them.
Mostly, yeah.
I like that money side. That's really cool. To acknowledge that someone's not only said, I support you with whatever, but I believe in you so much that this project shifted, that you've got this idea, this concept, I'm going to put my hard-earned cash to work.
Yeah.
Here you go. And here you go.
It is amazing.
Oh, cool.
It's amazing because it's more, people's time is worth a lot too.
Sure, yeah.
But you can kind of freely give your time, right? You can be like, I can stop by and help you with a little thing or whatever. But dollars is a different sort of animal, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Cool.
So
what do you guys talk about? I've listened to a few of these ones, and I just remember you guys chatting back and forth about progress.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this one of the episodes in the show, one of the pieces of the show, I'd love to talk about the progress that we should make in the long term. Like, I'd love to make a plan with regards to the movie concepts that we have right now, lay them in a line, and say we're going to go from here to here to here to here. The budget's going to go from here to here to here to here. These are the things we need to do in order to make that happen. So we basically make like a not like a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
And with the idea that slowly we grow. Nothing's going to come down. No one's going to reach out of the sky and hand us $1 million or $100 million to make something.
Yeah.
We've got a long slog. We've got a 5-year slog ahead of us.
Yeah.
So how are we going to grow? And I'd love to make that plan, but that would come after we talk about who you are, Mr. Christopher Watson.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Okay. So Chris, where were you born? No, I'm joking.
Good God.
No, really. Where are you from originally?
Um,
Where are you from originally? And tell us about your interest in films. Where that comes from.
okay. Jeez, that's tough. Okay, well, I'm originally from South Africa, from Port Elizabeth, which you, I believe, have been to at some point. In fact, you have stayed at my place. Have you?
That's right.
Did you guys meet in South Africa? Is that where you guys know each other
University, yeah. So, University of Cape Town. Go Bulldogs. No, I'm kidding.
No, we don't. We don't have
sports.
Go sports team. we don't have a thing. South African universities don't do that.
Oh, we had
They don't
one
do sports?
thing.
Well, they don't have
Too
like
much.
a cry, in American universities where all of a sudden they'll be like, soccer, high, soccer, my high. We don't have anything like that.
They don't. I don't think they do.
They
That.
don't
my
have that.
No,
Sack my high.
there's that thing how university has Bulldogs or Timberwolves or, go Red Dogs or something like that.
You guys are like diplomatic immunity.
That's the joke.
Arnold Foster.
Yeah,
No.
that's the joke from Lethal Weapon.
Oh, sorry,
the
that
weapon
guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, no, we don't go. We don't
Go
run around.
Krugerrands.
We don't run around saying that.
Film. That's a tricky one. Remember back in the day, there was a thing called video stores. It was like a million years ago. We had a deal in the video store growing up where it was 5 movies for 15 Rand for a week.
Oh,
So, there's 5 days, 5 movies for 15 Rand. And in dollars, that's like $2, I think. Right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Or like maybe $3 back
Yeah.
then. Because the Rand was strong and now it's a week
Yeah.
or whatever. But it was only in the section of movies where it was not the new releases. So it was like the
old crappy
school
movies.
movies.
The best.
That no one watched.
no.
I believe those are called classics.
I
Yeah,
believe
no.
they're called garbage. No.
So
I mean, they're
like 9 out of 10 people go straight to the new releases,
Yeah.
check out the latest Tom Cruise movie or whatever, and that's probably updated. But, and then you go there, pick your movie, and you leave, and that would be the section right by the door. So you come in and sort of pay and go out. But right at the back, there were all these classical movies, all classic movies.
Yeah.
And I went through phases where I'd watch a bunch of Robert De Niro movies, and then so I'd get like 5 of his movies and watch them. I'd be like, this guy's cool. And then I'd get 5 Al Pacino, because I'd watch Godfather and be like, oh, this guy's cool too. Then I'd watch like 5 of his movies, and then we'd jump. So that's sort of how I got into it.
And
It's a real slow process.
Yeah,
So,
and
I
you do
love
have,
video stores.
He does have a love of gangster movies.
big time. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, that phase was all of those gangster movies. I mean, the big one was Casino was fantastic. All the Scorsese movies were fantastic. So yeah, definitely into the gangster movies at a young age.
My wife hasn't seen Casino yet, and I was like, because I made that joke, that Joe Pesci joke.
Oh yeah. I mean, every guy makes that joke,
Yeah.
hoping it's not going to be a joke. It's a joke when it doesn't work.
I was like, you gotta watch that. Yeah. No.
It's just a joke. Ha ha.
But yeah, that's it. That's how I went to it.
And then you got into. You went to University of Cape Town, so Port Elizabeth is probably about 9 hours away.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, you're talking about 750 kilometers. Went to UCT. Met this guy at UCT first year.
Yeah.
And he was into film and doing all this cool stuff. A really cool group of friends in those days.
Was he wearing a scarf?
He was maybe wearing a scarf.
That was BS.
That came later.
Before scarf.
Before a scarf.
You don't wear scarves in South Africa are not like a thing.
Was he?
It's a little too hot.
Was that 80s thing when he was here?
Well,
scarf wearing.
It's like a filmmaker thing.
It is.
I didn't realize it was a filmmaker thing. I feel like I started wearing scarves and then it became a filmmaker thing.
No.
That's what I feel like.
Okay.
I feel like I started the trend, even though
Just claim it. I mean,
Yeah,
no one's gonna
Many
know.
people did it before.
None.
No, it's
No, it became a popular thing on film sets. Technicians would wear scarves and stuff
Yeah.
like that, so I probably then.
So UCT, sure, and then I was not into film, so I got into finance, and
Yeah.
at school I was into maths and all that, so it was just an easy route into finance.
Yeah.
and been cruising ever since.
So what do you do now? Like,
Well, so until now I've been doing stock analysis. So I try and analyze shares, try and find cheap shares, buy them, and when they go up, you try and sell them. That's the game plan. It works out about if you're good, it works out about 2/3 of the time. So if you're really good, and the 1/3 they just go down.
How often do you have success?
Well, that's about 2/3. Well, for me actually, when I started, which was I think I've done 8 years of it, so probably 50-50. So it was very very on the edge. And then as time goes by, you're lifting that ratio and you get into like 60%. But the best guys get 2/3, so 66%. They'll win. And the key is to then minimize your losses. So you know you're going to lose 1/3 of the time if you're great, but you just got to recognize that you're on this losing streak now. This idea, the rationale you have for buying the stock is a pile of garbage, and you just better get out.
yeah.
But the problem is you get invested in it mentally as well, and so then it's quite hard to pull out. So yeah, about 60% or so, I think.
So you've been doing that for 8 years. What kind of led you into stocks? What kind of finance did you do right out of school and for the?
It was actually during university. So I think it was about third year where I got into Warren Buffett's books about value investing, and that just hit a massive
Buying things that people always need, that sort of an idea.
Some of that, but actually the ones that I remember back in the day was more like the general concept of how you have a stock value that's, say, steady over time. So take Coors, it's Molson, the company is Molson Coors. It's listed in Canada, I think it is. And it's got the steady value that kind of grows over time or is flat or something like that. But if you look at the stock price chart, it's just gone all over the place, right, over 10 years. And what's happened is sometimes people think, their next beer is like, amazing. And sometimes
different beers it's in vogue. All of a sudden, everybody's drinking Coors.
Totally.
Yeah, they release a beer that's really popular, like the Banquet.
Sure. Suddenly the quarterly sales do a bit better, and people are like, "Oh, this thing's got some legs." They've bought some craft beers that they can get into, that they can sort of tap this new growing market. Oh, they're a growing stock. Oh, they make a lot of cash. Oh, the price is cheap, and then the price goes up.
As everybody buys.
Yeah, and so around this sort of steady central value, you have this fluctuating share price, and it's based on a bunch of things, but one is just human behavior or human emotion almost. That's reflected in the market. And it makes complete sense when you spell it out. It's hard to put into practice. But just reading that sort of stuff at university said stocks is interesting. New industries all the time. You're never bored. You just get to read cool stuff all the time.
He knows a lot about random companies. We'll be driving down the road and he'll be like, "Oh, Michael's, their client base is 80% woman." And it's like, "Oh, well, yeah, okay, cool.
I mean, they sell beads.
Yeah,
So-
like a rocket side.
You did a lot of schooling to pick that up, did you?
So what are you saying, Jay?
I'm saying the stock market shit is easy. I'm gonna be rich.
Yeah, it's a dream.
I mean,
It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
I'm just kidding.
No, so then got into that.
This idiot.
And been running with that for the last little while. And now I've actually just gone on my own, and myself and my girlfriend, we're now traveling around the US. So we've got a good 4-month road trip ahead of us, and then see from there.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
it's a good trip.
Yeah, long trips are amazing.
Yeah.
What's the longest trip you've ever done?
I suppose it would be the 2 weeks out east.
Yeah.
2 weeks, two solid weeks was pretty great. And because it felt long. Because every day, because we always had kind of a destination to go to.
Yeah.
So we
You
kind of
had an
had a plan.
itinerary?
Yeah, we had an itinerary.
Yeah.
So every day we would wake up and drive 4 or 5 hours to the next spot that we were going to be at, and then hang out for. I think there was only two.
That does
two
get tiring.
times. It was.
Yeah.
There was only 2 times where we got where we were going and stayed for a day or two. So one was Halifax and one was PEI where we golfed, and
PEI, this is Port Edward.
Prince Edward Island.
Prince Edward Island.
Yeah.
So this is Nova Scotia.
No, it's Prince Edward Island.
Oh, is
like,
it a
yes,
different
it's
area?
beside, yeah, it's beside
It's
Nova
its own
Scotia.
province.
It is, yeah.
Oh wow,
But it's
sure.
teeny weeny teeny.
It's very small.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to Quebec,
Yeah.
New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island,
Wow, man.
back to New Brunswick,
Yeah.
back to Quebec, back to Ontario.
Is it a different
Get a
world
route.
out there? Like, because I mean, you're still in Canada. You still got
Crazy.
Okay.
Very different.
Okay.
Very different. Yeah, and we did not go to Newfoundland, which is the one, like the furthest island, which is
okay.
quite big.
I really want to go. I really
Okay,
want to go.
okay.
At least.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
So then now you've moved to, now you've decided you've been working in South Africa in finance for a little bit. You worked at a company called Allen Gray.
Yeah, 2 years there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you were like, boom, I am moving to South Korea to teach English.
Yeah. So I've kind of left out that big gap. So I did 2 years in South Africa and then 6 in the UK. That's how you get to the 8. But South Korea was also where this guy was for a few.
Yeah, we overlapped in South Korea for a little
Oh,
bit.
really?
Yeah.
So that was about travel again, like go to a new place, kind of dive into a new world, and other thing is finance. As you can imagine, most people kind of roll their eyes because you're just sitting in front of a spreadsheet and you're just moving numbers around.
Right.
Compared to making movies, that sounds pretty horrible, isn't it? But
That does sound pretty horrible to me.
Right.
Jay's like, that's my job.
Okay, so you feel my pain, but
I got a file folder with some paperwork.
Oh yeah, by the way, we need your help with some numbers and
No.
But teaching was a whole new world because there you're standing in front of a class of 20 kids and they staring at you and you have this position of authority and you now need to get through this material. But more than that, it's about like engaging with them and trying to get them to speak and get them engaged and stuff like that.
So did you ever punch one of them right in the face?
I wanted to many times.
Yeah.
You remember that feeling?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just a snotty kid who's just annoying, is tired or whatever. But you just gotta kind of put yourself in their shoes and just say, okay, they're just.
Say, I received a punch in the face, so you too shall receive a punch in the face.
Then I did Muay Thai training,
Yeah.
so luckily it wasn't the other way around.
Yeah. Trouble.
Yeah, Korea was cool. But that was just, to me, that was like a complete break from the finance world. And
did you do it because you just wanted to change? You had a nervous breakdown. What's the?
Oh no! It was 2 years of really good work, and then I kind of saw the path in this company as it was going to be the next step and the next step, and I was just going to get sort of sunk into that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking at the time, I was like, if I'm gonna do a big trip east and sort of learn a language and spend some time out there, it has to happen now, because if it doesn't happen now, I'm going to stay in this job and then get married and
You saw the rest of your life unfold.
Yeah.
And you're like, pump the brakes.
Yeah, I like that,
Yeah.
but let me just delay that for X many years.
Yeah.
And so, and that was the big motivation actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to say that was almost exactly the same for me leaving South Africa. I also saw the rest of my life unfold in front of me. Like I just saw it all, the progression, and I just wasn't ready for that. At 23, 24, I was like, I don't know. Then packed my bags and hit the road and came to Canada.
I think there's a movie in that actually, like sort of glimpsing through and then sort of someone turning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of. Just explain to me what you mean.
So
Yes, I do.
That actually is a movie.
it is.
Yeah.
A glimpse.
The guy can see all the different.
You see all the paths that you
all
can
the
walk.
paths, and he keeps trying
Get back on.
to, move
But
away
then,
or whatever.
and do you know what would be really interesting with that is if you, no matter which path you take, you always end up at the same place.
Yeah.
Or like not exactly the same place, but like a similar place. Like you end up, you travel your road, and your road is going to be your road no matter what.
Yeah.
So
There's
it's
a
kind
weird
of destiny
time
versus
travel
choice.
movie. There's a weird time travel movie where the guy's wife dies and he goes back and tries to like fix things the whole time. He already knows his path, but he keeps trying to shuffle with it, and it always turns out to be the same.
Do you guys remember this movie? It's actually one of my favorites, but it's a real corny kind of rom-com. It's called The Family Man with Nicolas Cage and Taya Leone.
I have not seen that.
I know the cover,
You
but
know the
no,
cover?
I've never
Okay.
seen it.
Watch that because that sort of sticks. That movie just hit me in my
Yeah.
wherever. And it is a corny rom-com, but it's about this guy who's like this investment banker who's single and hooks up with tons of girls. Do you know
Is this you?
Except for the hooking up with tons of girls thing.
And the investment banker. And the really
It's
handsome
super wealthy
Bart.
and Porsche and whatever. None of that, no, unfortunately. And then what happens is he's like a real cocky guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then he does something, and then it's actually this angel, this Don Cheadle, you say, he's the character,
Yeah.
and he says, "Okay, I'm gonna do you a favor almost," and he goes to sleep and he wakes up the next day, and his
I
whole
may
life,
have seen this.
his whole life is as if he had not gone that successful solo banker route to become kind of a dick, but instead goes the route of family man.
Mm-hmm.
And he moves out to New Jersey, not New York City, and he gets a station wagon, and he takes over his father-in-law's business, and he goes down that sort of path. And then
Then they
that's his
take it
glimpse.
away. And then
they
he's
take-
like, no, I want to be back with Taylor Leone. Did you see her?
Yeah. Gosh, she's the best.
You see her in Bad
She's
Boys?
so sexy. I mean, is there a more beautiful human being in Bad Boys?
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's the glimpse. That's the glimpse.
Yeah.
She's
Good
bottom
glimpse. Cool glimpse.
Good movie.
Yeah.
I do remember it now.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
And there
it's
is
got Jeremy Piven in as always the best friend.
do you know what? There is something to be said about someone who works their whole life and they have all this money and then they have no one to spend it on because they've spent their whole life working, right? And that is an interesting space that I would love to deal with one day, just because, yeah, I mean, because everybody wants a lot of money, but if you actually took the sacrifice that it required to get the lots of money, would you still want it? I suppose.
No.
This is what the poor people say to each other. They're
Well-
like, you don't want to be rich. It's terrible.
Let's make movies about rich people that hate their lives.
They hate how much money they have.
Rich people are like, I don't even watch movies.
Yeah.
I'm on a jet ski.
yeah. I'm parachuting in this country.
Oh, you guys made a
Parachutes.
movie? That's adorable.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, South Korea.
Yeah.
You're
oh,
teaching
yeah.
English. You're punching kids in the face left and right.
Yeah.
and
right,
and
left hook.
there are two kinds of English teachers that'll go to South Korea. There are more than that. But like
Yeah.
in my mind, you have people who will like try and remain. They'll try and I'm just going there for some fun. I'm going to teach them English, then I'm going to leave.
Right.
And that was kind of my stance. Whereas Chris was like, I'm going to take Korean lessons. I'm going to try and learn to speak Korean. And I'm going to try and like sort of ingest as much of the culture as I can. So Chris like learned Korean, and now would you say you're fluent in Korean?
Fluent's probably strong, but pretty good. So
Yeah.
I met Ella's parents, for example.
Ella is his Korean significant other.
Yeah, and could converse quite easily and that sort of stuff. So in terms of basic life, pretty easy, but in terms of discussing politics, a little bit more struggle.
What would it take for us to bring, say, a poutineery to South Korea and take over the country? Would that be possible?
Do you know what poutine is?
I've had poutine, but I've only had Tim Hortons poutine,
Oh,
which I have to say wasn't bad for
Oh,
my first
I'm sure
introduction
it's
to poutine.
fine. I'm sure it's fine.
no. Any potato that comes out of that building is sacrilege to potatoes. I'm serious. Those are god awful.
I'm just wondering what happens if you bring like a fattening North American delicacy to an Asian country.
Cool. Delicacy, strong word, but like, yeah.
Well, you know what?
It's not really a delicacy. It's just like greasy slop.
What
But
would
it's
you say?
delicious.
What would
It's
you
like
say
cheese and
is a
gravy.
Canadian delicacy?
Salmon.
No, it's not.
It's more delicate. It's more of a delicacy than potatoes and gravy.
Yeah, but everybody that can do salmon.
But it's like, but a delicacy, like the concept behind a delicacy is that it's like
Delicious.
no, it's like it's rare. It's like sockeye salmon. I would consider it a delicacy.
Well,
I mean, if you get St. Albert's cheese curds,
Oh, yes, okay. If you go to PEI and pick the potatoes yourself on the mountainside, well then yes, we can
mountainside.
consider it a delicacy.
There's no mountains in PEI.
I know there's no mountains in Canada.
Okay,
Except
sure
for,
there is.
Except for that one thing called the Rockies.
Well, this poutine idea is not bad because what does do well is things like Dunkin' Donuts does quite well. All that, Starbucks does great. So a lot of McDonald's as well. So there's a lot
Burger
of
King.
Yeah, the big American chains are definitely there. So you might find poutine.
It always amazes me when I see a Subway places.
Yeah.
You know, the sandwich place, because I'm always like, that's safe.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And do you know what? If you're feeling homesick in another country, go into one of those stores and you'll just feel right at home.
Yeah.
Because you'll be like, this is the same right here as it is.
Because McDonald's probably does not fuck around. Like if you went to a McDonald's in South Korea, the Big Mac will probably taste very similar.
They will. They will usually have. McDonald's will usually have one burger that is like the local culture burger. Like in Australia, you'll go there. They'll have a burger that has beets and egg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there'll be like a specific, like they even tried the Australian burger here. Yeah. It's common in Australian McDonald's, but so there will be one burger that is unique.
Is there a Canadian one, like a version of in Canada, like a?
Well, might be like a bacon something or
some kind of Canadian bacon.
Well, do you know what? Maybe something.
I'm not sure.
The Angus or something. Okay, so moving on from there, South Korea, then you moved. Then you were like, screw going back to South Africa. This is crazy. I'm going to stupid England.
Yeah. Well, then it was the England phase, so it was about 6 years there. Yeah. Sort of, the purpose was to just get really skilled up on stocks and how to analyze stocks.
And the English do that really well.
My ex-boss who moved across there and started a fund, he's just top of the game, like absolute top of the game. So,
do you love the show Billions?
I've only watched a few episodes. What I have
the answer
seen,
is no.
It's very cool. It's very cool. So I think if I sat down and watched, I think it's on HBO, so Showtime.
Yeah, I think it's HBO.
One of the two, and I just didn't have access to it. So it wasn't that I didn't like it. It was just that I never got around to seeing it. But I'm quite keen.
I like that.
Are you a fan?
Huge fan, but he doesn't steal, so I like that. He's not
he made it.
If I don't have access to it, then it doesn't exist for me.
He's gonna buy it.
I like that. I appreciate that.
Chris drives the speed limit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, geez. Yeah. I think like, I mean, it's gonna get a bit serious, but I think if you want to live long, you just drive at the speed limit and you just stay alert the whole time. Because the thing is, it's not about you. It's about the drunk idiot who's driving in front of you or next to you or whatever.
Yeah.
So
so that is kind of a philosophy of mine as well. Although it's not really about the speed, so much as the distance that I put between me and everyone else. So like I get very anxious if whoever I'm driving with, like if I'm the passenger and that person is driving at speed too close to another car. Like it's different if it's bumper to bumper or anything like that. That's fine.
But on a highway.
Or whatever. Because I drive a motorcycle all the time, so I put like tons of space in between me and the next person.
Yeah.
And I can stop faster than any car, but I still leave lots of room. Yeah. And I still don't let, if I can help it, I don't let anyone drive beside me.
Yeah.
So, I will always speed up or let them be here and here or whatever. But a lot of defensive.
Just acknowledge that it's not you so much, it's about the idiots who are driving on this road who shouldn't be driving the road, but they are. Yeah. And that's just the way the world works. You just got to play around in that game.
I like that.
Really. I thought you were going to get really deep and it was like a life philosophy.
I was gonna.
On like staying inside the rules. But it really was just about driving. So that's cool too.
Did I build it up too high?
If there's guys, let me tell you something.
This is gonna get serious.
If there's a sign that says "Do not enter," then you just don't.
Yeah. Don't be dumb.
Okay, there's a reason why that sign is there.
Yeah. If you want to live long, then.
I need to work on my motivational.
No, that's good. You're fine.
Stories.
You're fine.
You sucked me right in.
So I've got that part of the story down. I just need to deliver it.
Yeah.
Chris is like,
to bring it around.
You are never gonna believe what happens next. Click this link to find out now. And you're like, what? Don't drive too fast.
It's about the other guy.
Terrible.
Okay.
So at around this stage, so I have been working in the film industry and kind of cracking on. And it was probably, and I don't know how you saw Greenhouse. But it's at this stage. Vimeo. Yeah, so it was at the stage that Greenhouse was finished. It's available on Vimeo. I was, you go and watch my movie, you know, enjoy it, tell me what you think. And that's where you saw Greenhouse.
Yeah, and actually for ages I've been thinking this guy, 80, is like on another level in terms of getting stuff done. Or like saying something and then actually doing it, which is like a rare trait. I think Jason's the same actually.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, well, first of all, when you said I'm going to make movies, I was like, 80's probably actually going to do it, and he's probably going to kick ass. And then when you did do it, and then I saw it, and I was like, 80 did it, and he kicked ass. And then this is going to be another and another. And so then I was like, geez, this guy's going to be big. So I'm still pretty convinced of that.
Okay, well, we're working on it. We're working too slowly, though.
Well, yeah, there's no time limit, I suppose. But
there is, because we're going to die. So
because he drives too fast.
Do you know what? I couldn't help it when you were talking about. Thank you, Chris, for those kind words.
Oh yeah, well,
and
that's true.
Thank you. We are working on it, and every time we make a movie, the movie's a little bit better than the last one.
Yeah.
So hopefully, at some stage, we're going to make something that really rocks the world a little bit. That'd be really great.
I will say, you know, it's I think part of the struggle is really getting the movie out into in front of people's faces, right? You know, I think that you know, you have what you think about Greenhouse after all these years and looking at it so many times, and same with Bickerman's Grove. But when people see it for the first time, right? We still, like I had told you once before, that someone had watched Bickerman's Grove and loved it so much they went and rented Iowa's Greenhouse and were blown away. And when I started to kind of, we do this thing where, you know, when you're kind of creative, you start to almost apologize for your work.
Well, because it's not a huge hit, right?
Right.
So because it didn't take off and go, you know, float into the stratosphere.
Right.
You know.
So you want to be like, well, let me, you know, but it really resonates with some people. They love that movie.
Yeah.
Totally.
And which is really cool, right?
Amazing.
So to me, it's also just, there could be a moment in the future, right? And this was my point before, was, you know, you've got somebody that watches Bickerman's Grove and then goes, well, now I clicked on it, I liked it, I went to IMDb, and then I saw another movie that this guy was in, and then I went, okay, where can I see this? And I checked it out, and it was also awesome, right? And so there are people, like you said, that are like, I want to watch all the movies that, you know, I went through a huge Robin Williams phase a couple years after his death. And I was like, I want to go back and remember the kind of how much fun I had when I was watching Robin Williams movies. Same sort of idea. No?
No, that's good. I was just talking to the audience with my eyes.
Oh, you're like, Robin Williams is a fucking idiot.
No, he's the best.
Anyways, but I'm just saying that, you know, you're going to have certain movies that resonate with people, and you're also going to end up, some of the movies that we didn't, that haven't made it financially yet, will. Yeah, that's what I think. I really believe it.
Absolutely, and certainly part of the game plan is to build up the library, because when you make that one tentpole movie that sort of takes off, that sort of will drag the whole library up with it.
Right.
That's what you hope anyway.
Yeah.
And you need to learn. You need to learn to make movies. You don't just know how to make a movie.
Yeah, but
it takes, you got to learn it.
You know what? It's actually, even if you step even one step back, it's just having people who really will go and do it, because it's almost like all that stuff that you're saying. You need to figure out how to market it. You need to figure out how to get a fan base. You need to figure out how to whatever, edit it better, whatever. The person, if you step back, the person who will go and do it will like think of that exact same thing and get that thing done and overcome those obstacles and then do it. So if you find a person who's willing to actually go and do this stuff, you've actually kind of solved the problem. You know what I mean? Like, because you know they're going to just persevere until they get it done.
Until they make it happen.
And I guess there's a probability that it doesn't, but that's in my mind quite small. So that's
1/3.
So
we're back to stocks.
We're doing the 2/3. We're in the 2/3 full circle. All right, Jay, you can get into stocks. You're smart enough.
It's like stocks. This is like an what do you say? Like a metaphor for life. You know, like if you find the stock that's just producing cash flow and it's going to be producing cash flow for 100 years and you pay 10 times those cash flows, you don't know when, but it's going to go up. And it's just like it's not a sure thing, but there's a high probability it's going to work.
Yeah.
When you find two people who are extremely interested and excited and persevere and like actually spend their hard-earned cash on it and spend their limited time on it and keep trying and keep saying I need to improve this, need to improve that. It's just a matter of time in my mind.
Yes, Chris, you are absolutely correct.
Okay.
It's just a matter of time. I'm going to take that and tattoo it on my ass and look at it every morning in the mirror. I tattoo it on my chest backwards so it reads correctly in the mirror.
It's going to show his wife.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time.
She's like, I know.
Yes, so can I just now I'd like to talk because Chris, even through your travels and everything, Chris is involved with us. Like with his skill set, he's sort of part of the team now, traveling around the world and doing all your things. Yeah. But I'd like to talk about what this guy can bring to the table, what he brings to the table when we are starting to like put things together and starting to move a little bit and shake a little bit. Christopher Watson has a skill set, with...
Just, first of all, you guys are doing everything and more than that. So it's it'll be a very tiny little additional support, help, but keen and willing, but of whatever you guys are keen to bring it.
So this is, and I'll tell you, this is where I said, like, you part of your skill set has to do with projections.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So you look at something and you're like, well, this is going to kind of move in this direction. Yeah. Now, once we start developing a track record with a few films, it would be really cool to have those projections as part of our pitch packet.
Even as far as, being in every part of the world is part of the film world, right? And yourself kind of being immersed in the finance world, and you as someone who is more than your average investor. So when you're looking at companies or projects or things that are happening, you're paying attention to certain key things, and even having that understanding and being able to ensure that when we are looking for larger investments, we're putting the right packages together, like you said, or we're making sure that the projects or the companies look a certain way, so that we are also impressive, right? So that when people are looking, when you've done Greenhouse and you've done Bickerman's Grove and Shifted is out the door and we've done this documentary or whatever, and someone comes to take a peek at what we're up to, are we looking as impressive as we can be, right?
Yeah.
Financially speaking,
right?
With regards to returns,
correct.
Yeah,
that's
because this
cool.
is because as we grow, it would be really, and we develop a track record of paying investors back. So for Shifted, we took a very small number of investors with the intention of paying them back. That's like our number one goal is to make a really great movie, to pay those investors back.
Yeah. And
so with that track record, then we slowly grow. And if we can look really good while we do it, that'll be a good thing.
Okay, so let's say if you walk through that, so let's say it's Shifted is the documentary, is it part of the plan?
Well, I mean, it could be. We never thought of ourselves as adding a documentary aspect to Fable Forest, but you know what? I mean, since we're doing it and we have the ability to, we could monetize it. I mean,
the thing is, there is a creative element to creating a documentary, right? And it can be lucrative, right? And
totally,
people love watching documentaries.
Yeah.
So there are some people who only watch documentaries,
right? So even though I don't think it would be the thing that we drive to do all the time, I think it could be a good mixture.
I think it could be a smart move to add it into the sort of the ongoing creative.
And the other thing too is that documentaries are different to shoot. They're, I don't want to say easier exactly, but it's different because
the stresses and strains are in a different place altogether.
Right? Because when you go to do a documentary, you're kind of going to get what you're going to get. These are real people. It's a real situation. I mean, you have to weave the tale, but you're not sitting in a room fixing lighting, trying to redo and get your performance exactly the way you want it, like you would in a feature, right? You're bringing a bunch of cameras, or you bring one camera and light set up, and you're going to wherever, and you're going to because the person is just doing that thing. Then.
And they're gonna talk to you, right? And then the other stuff you got to run and gun. You know, you got the camera on the shoulder, and you just.
So it's different. It's a different feel.
So in that way, life is telling the story, and you're capturing it. Whereas in film, you're creating the whole story.
Yes,
exactly. You still massage the story.
Okay.
In the editing suite, you will mold the story for sure. Yeah. But yes, all the pieces are coming straight from real life.
Okay, so then. Can we try this way? What's like the end goal, and then you sort of work the steps.
So I'll tell you what we're gonna do though.
Okay, you're gonna talk about an end goal.
Before we do that, we are gonna stop this episode. So if you're ready to get into that, we're gonna wrap this episode up. We're gonna switch to some scotch. We're gonna start the next episode.
Yes, amazing.
But before we do that,
I've been excited about this episode that we're gonna do. I've been excited for this episode for weeks.
Oh my God. You guys are going to have to wait weeks. You guys are going to have to be excited for weeks to listen to the next episode where we talk about financial stuff.
Finance!
So exciting.
Right? But it's going to be more like, kind of like our goals episode. We've had 2 goals episodes. I don't know if you... Yeah, so when we first started, I think it was like episode 3, these shows have been ridiculous. Now we're coming up on 50 minutes. But when we first started doing this show, we had like 3-hour-long shows.
We would talk for 3 hours.
Wow.
Because we would just get a bunch of beer and just put the camera on. Actually, we didn't even have a camera at the beginning. We just recorded the audio. Just talked and talked and talked. But now we're trying to keep it a little toiter. We're at,
Toilet like a toiga.
We're gonna keep it under an hour on this one. But we did have a goals episode, which was a lot of social goals, what we kind of want to do the year, and then this year, was it March or April of 2018 or so? We did another one where we kind of reflected on the goals from the previous year, saw how we did, gave ourselves some new goals. But I like this. This is more of like a projection, like a 5-year plan sort of idea.
Just with regards to what movies we're going to do when. What we want the budgets to be, and what the return needs to be on the movies that we've made in order for us to grow into the next budget of the next film, right?
Right. So
all right.
Before we wrap this one up, though,
quick,
I will.
Questions
Questions that we ask all of our audience members.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not going to do trivia. Not going to do trivia.
Sure, we'll do trivia too.
One.
No,
trivia.
we're going to do trivia.
Okay, one.
We're going to do true trivia.
Shoe trivia?
No, we're going to do 2 trivia.
Oh,
but
see, I said 1 trivia, and he was like, "No, we will do 2."
One is ridiculous because what's going to happen when I win and you're sad?
But all right, this is fun.
Do I take cards?
Are we doing? What are we doing? T, X, or P?
I don't know.
P.
Okay, P.
I have no
I'll go
idea.
first.
Here we go.
Don't look at the answer.
Oh, is that the answer?
Yeah, you can also answer your
You're in
own
it.
question.
You're in it. Don't look at your answer. I'll go first. Name the actor who has been romantically linked to Kelly Preston, Robin Wright Penn, and Ginger Lynn Allen.
Sean Penn.
Robin Wright Penn.
I mean,
that seems like it would be.
I was gonna say Sean Penn as well, but like
I'm gonna say. Hold on, just wait. Who's the guy that played in Princess Bride?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Princess Bride.
No. Oh, do you know what?
That's
I
the
don't
guy.
know his name.
The guy that was in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
That guy.
Wait.
Carrie?
Wait. I know
He's
this
got a
one.
girl's name.
The president from Independence Day.
No.
No.
You think of a different guy. Yeah. Okay, Charlie Sheen. Incorrect.
Charlie Sheen.
But it's a good thing we had a 5-minute discussion about it. Okay, let's go.
Is it my one?
Yeah.
T or S or P?
P.
Jodie Foster was the model for the copper tone drawing of the little girl having her bikini bottoms tugged by a puppy.
Oh my god.
Fact or fiction?
That's got to be fiction.
No, it's got to be fact.
You think so?
It's too weird.
I'm going to go
Too random.
fiction too. You ready?
I think it's Drew Barrymore.
Fact!
Damn it.
No,
Jodie Foster, eh?
I win.
That was a hot baby.
I win.
Here we go. The scene. Adrian's winning. I'm a loser. Clearly. The scene in which Brandon Lee was fatally wounded was left in the final cut of The Crow.
True.
Fact or fiction?
True. Fact.
I will say also fiction.
Fact.
Fiction. Yes.
Bullshit.
Dang.
I
not
even
watch
knew
that movie.
about that. I was like, this is the scene where he dies.
Fiction. It's 1-1.
No. In 1988, well, none of us were even alive in 1988.
Hey, what do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Oh, you guys are old. No, I'm
good at
the
math.
same. I'm the same old. Okay, in a 1988 film, the actress played Tom Hanks's love interest. 6 years later, she starred with him again. This time, playing his mother.
Oh,
Name the actress.
Meg Ryan.
Nicole Kidman.
No, she's gonna be older. Is it Nicole Kidman?
No.
Who's like from Big? You know, when he was a kid, because that might be the mom.
No, that's not Tom Cruise. Daryl Hannah?
No,
Tom-
it's
Tom
Tom
Hanks.
Hanks. Tom Hanks.
Oh, Tom Hanks.
I don't know. I know now that I looked at the answer.
Oh, yeah.
Sally Fields.
Okay, she's
Oh,
motherly.
Forrest Gump.
Oh, Forrest Gump.
Amazing.
Damn.
I love that movie.
Okay.
Kissed your mom, Tom. Kissed your mom.
Kiss your mouth, Tom.
Gross.
Name the American actor-director who said, "I don't want to achieve immortality through my work. I want to achieve immortality by not dying."
Terry Gilliam.
Woody Allen. Come on.
Terry Gilliam's English, isn't he? Was an American?
American actor-director.
Quentin Tarantino.
I think Tarantino. I think.
Woody Allen.
Oh,
I
balls.
didn't even look. That's
That's
awesome. Is he an actor? Woody Allen.
One.
He acts in all his
Here we
movies.
go.
Of course he is in his movies.
Is it 1-1?
Yeah.
1-1. This is it.
4.
Name the actor who's been romantically linked to Jennifer Grey, Winona Ryder, and Kate Moss. Charlie Sheen. I'm wrong.
Ryder and
Jerry
Kate-
Seinfeld. I don't know. I
Kate
don't know.
Moss. Oh, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Johnny Depp.
Oh, Johnny Depp.
It's
Wait.
a tie. Tune in 2 weeks from now for the tiebreaker.
Okay, adios, muchachos.
Dream big.
Work hard. Thanks for watching.
First frames first.
Yes. First frames first. Thank you, Jason.
Welcome.
If you enjoyed, head over to our website, www.thefableforest.com. Check out our films and sign up for our newsletter where we will send you exclusive content.
Hit us up on our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, always at The Fable Forest. And share our show with your friends. It'll really help us out a lot.
Dream big.
Work hard.